This is my personal list of my top 10 British heavyweights of all time. Today is a very important day in British boxing. We've just had the weigh-in for the Charles Martin versus Anthony Joshua fight for the IBF title, which is supposed to take place tomorrow. Obviously, if Anthony Joshua wins this and goes on to have a very successful career, it can be quite a historic moment in British boxing. And also the fight between Tyson Fury and Wladimir Klitschko. The rematch has been announced today, which is going to take place in Manchester on the 9th of July. That's just been confirmed today. So it's a very important day in British boxing. Also, this is my top 10 list. The things I'm going to take into consideration is records, what they've achieved, and also who I would think would beat who in a heavyweight boxing match. So number 10 I have Henry Cooper, a British champion, Commonwealth champion, has a record of 40 wins, 14 losses and 1 draw. Henry Cooper was 6 foot tall and weighed 185 pounds. He was a skilled boxer, a very determined boxer. He had a lot of heart, a lot of determination. His weaknesses though is he would cut easily. A lot of his fights were stopped because of cuts. Many people have probably seen the photos of him against Muhammad Ali, and I've never seen a boxer bleed so much in the ring before. It was awful. I don't think that would happen today in the ring. So he deserves his space as number 10. Number 9 I have Bob Fitzsimmons. A lot of people wouldn't have heard of him. He's a boxer from the 20th century. He has a record of 63 wins, 8 losses and 4 draws. Now, Bob Fitzsimmons isn't just a person that's ranked number 9 on this list. Bob Fitzsimmons is a guy that's went down in the history books because he was the first 3-weight world champion in boxing. So he'll always be in the history books. He was a good 20th century boxer. There's no footage of him out there fighting, obviously, but he had a very successful career at his time. Now, number 8 I have Joe Bugner, 6'4", about 219 pounds. He has a record of 69 wins, 13 losses and 1 draw. Famously fought Muhammad Ali twice. He fought Frank Bruno as well, another British boxer. He obviously lost to Muhammad Ali, but he took him the distance. And Joe Bugner, started fighting in the 60s, and he continued fighting until the end of the 20th century in 1999. So he was a very popular figure in Britain, a very good boxer. And then it goes on to the 7th place, which is Henry. I'm going to struggle to pronounce this. Akinwande, 6'7", 240 pounds, had a record of 50 wins, 4 losses. He was a WBO champion. Fought Lennox Lewis but lost. But he was a very good British boxer, and he deserves his place as the number 7 spot. Now number 6 is Danny Williams, 48 wins, 25 losses. Seems like a really bad record, but the thing you have to remember with Danny Williams is he continued fighting way after he had completely lost it, or just lost the motivation to fight and try and get up to that level where he could be a champion anymore. He went on a massive losing streak at the end of his career. The British Board of Control have actually prevented him getting a license now, so he can't continue his losing streak, or he'd still be fighting today. But he was a big guy, 6'4", 250 pounds, big modern heavyweight. He had a famous battle with Mike Tyson. He actually stopped Mike Tyson, I think it was the 4th or the 5th round. It was a really good fight, a very exciting fight to watch, lots of knockdowns. Danny Williams actually fought Mike Tyson the way Mike Tyson likes to fight and beat him at his own game. So even though it's at the end of Mike Tyson's reign as a boxer, you still do have to give him some credit. I mean, beating a great champion, even though they have lost it, you have to give him some credit. Not obviously saying he'll beat Mike Tyson at his very best, or you beat that boxer at his very best, but they always deserve a little bit of credit. Unless, of course, we're talking about Larry Holmes versus Muhammad Ali when he was drugged up out of his mind. That's a different level altogether. After that, we've got Herbie Haye, number 5. Extremely fast boxer, lot of power. He was a small boxer for his time. At 6'2", 221 pounds. But he was incredibly fast for a heavyweight, really was. And he had that power, he had that knockout power as well, despite being a small heavyweight. Problems were he was maybe a bit too aggressive, especially in the Vitali Klitschko fight. He should have used his footwork and speed to stay away from him and try and drag the fight out a bit more. But he was a very impressive heavyweight to watch. He was a WBO champion. He's probably been forgotten about a bit now, but he was a really good heavyweight for his time. After Herbie Haye, we got Frank Bruno, 40 wins, 5 losses, standing at 6'3" and 238 pounds. Very muscular, very strong, but what a lot of people forget is very, very skilled boxer. When he fought Lennox Lewis, he was outboxing Lennox Lewis until he got fatigued. Actually, I'm showing the Frank Bruno versus Lennox Lewis fight here. And yeah, Frank Bruno was outboxing Lennox Lewis before he got fatigued. So Frank Bruno gets a lot of criticism. They even use Frank Bruno as an example of criticising Anthony Joshua. But you can't really use him to criticise someone. He was a really good boxer. He was WBC champion. He deserves to be number 4 on this list. And also a very nice guy, very nice personality. You know, Britain loved him during his time. He doesn't deserve the criticism he gets. It's actually really unfair now. He suffered from depression, obviously. You've got to feel sorry for him. He tried to have a comeback at the start of this year, but he was turned down by the British Board of Control. Even though I think it would be good for him to have some, you know, fights at the lower level, obviously preventing him from fighting anybody that, you know, has got the kind of reflexes and everything to actually completely box him. But let him fight at the lower level, you know, let him have the limelight. I think that would actually be good for him. But yeah, Frank Bruno deserves the number 4 spot. David Haye I have as number 3, 27 wins, 2 losses. David Haye is a massively underrated boxer since he lost to Wladimir Klitschko, because of the complaining about his toe, obviously, and because a lot of people in Britain just hate Wladimir Klitschko. And if you can't beat Wladimir Klitschko, they don't give you any credit, even though most people do lose to him. But David Haye is extremely fast, got incredible power. Even when he was small, he was incredibly powerful. And I've got to say, I've never seen a heavyweight boxer, and I'll get a lot of criticism for this, that had the reflexes that David Haye had. I mean, I've never seen a boxer just be able to dodge all the punches like David Haye has. Muhammad Ali gets a lot of credit for having amazing reflexes, but if you actually watch Muhammad Ali's fights, he does get hit a lot. David Haye, though, was just amazing at managing to get out the road of punches, and getting out the road of extremely fast punches that were getting thrown back at him. Muhammad Ali was good, but he was good with his footwork in a different way. He would stay out of range and then, you know, jump in and out of range in that sort of way. David Haye can be right in front of you and dodge your punches and then counter you. That's what makes him so amazing and so dangerous. And the other downside to David Haye is his injuries. He's always been plagued with injuries. Maybe some of them have been fake. I mean, that's obviously a big possibility, but I think everyone wishes David Haye fought a lot more, and we actually got to see a lot more of David Haye, and hopefully we do now with his comeback. But that could be short-lived as well. Number 2, I have Tyson Fury. Maybe a lot of people will give me a lot of criticism for having Tyson Fury as number 2, but he's the one of 2 lineal, well, he's one of 2 number 1 heavyweights that have been around in the modern age. The other one I'll get onto in a minute. He's got a 25-0 record. Very massive guy at 6'9", 250 pounds. He's not a big puncher, but he does carry some power. Of course, a big guy at 250 pounds should do, but they don't all have that kind of power that even Tyson Fury has. Very fast footwork. He's very aware of range and the range he can be in to avoid getting hit. He's just he's an all-round good boxer. And number one, Lennox Lewis, a lot of power, a lot of skill, good footwork, great uppercuts, great powerful uppercuts. Lennox Lewis, it was an all-round good boxer. Got a lot of criticism for being a bit too technical, people thinking he's a bit too boring. But if he had to get involved in a scrap, he could. He was one of the best boxers. I rank him actually in my top 5 of all time, Lennox Lewis. And he had a record of 41 wins, 2 losses, and only a single draw. Also, he's a Olympic gold medalist, and I think he got, Olympic silver medalist as well. I think he probably won some other gold medals at World Championships. I've not double checked on that, but I'm sure he has. But he definitely deserves number 1 spot. Tyson Fury, obviously, well, we may possibly even David Haye, but more likely Tyson Fury does have a big chance to actually beat Lennox Lewis. If Tyson Fury can beat Wladimir Klitschko again, that's going to make his record look a lot better. And if he can go out there and beat people like Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Alexander Povetkin, Kubrat, Pulev, Joseph Parker, there's a lot of really good heavyweights out there that he could beat and be able to be the best British heavyweight of all time. So time will tell how Tyson Fury gets on there, but he's actually in a very fortunate position in boxing right now with a lot of good heavyweights out there. I think if Tyson Fury beats all these guys, I seriously doubt he's not going to get the credit he deserves. And if he doesn't, then the serious boxing fans will definitely give him his credit and definitely have him as the number 1 spot. So that's my list of my personal top 10 best British heavyweights of all time.